Day 2 here at the Farm Bureau Insurance Classic, and this is game 2 here as we have tipped the second day off. This matchup features the Seneca Bobcats taking on the Phillip O'Berry Cardinals. Seneca out of South Carolina, Phillip O'Berry representing North Carolina here in this event. Nice work there on the fall-away jumper for Xavier Barmore. It's going to give you some of the players to watch for Seneca. Barmore sort of introduces himself there on that first play. So he puts Seneca and the game on the board with that early deuce. Barmore in full attack mode to open this game. Pass inside is going to be finished there by number 1 for Seneca. It's Chad Earl. Earl came down, got the rebound on the other end. Now Seneca will feed it inside, back out to Galloway. Earl has his second bucket of the game. So he has 4. Barmore got the deuce early on. And Seneca off to a good start. You look at how both teams got here to the left side of the bracket after losing their first game. Seneca lost by a score of 83-63 to a Burn squad that is just relentless on the defensive end and also pushes and attacks the offensive glass just as well as anybody here in this field of teams. Knocking down that 3 from the corner. That's Miller for Phillip O'Berry. Will Miller. So Miller gets the Cardinals on the board. It's 6-3. That triple missed by Galloway. Barmore gets his second bucket of the game to make it 8-3. I think you're going to see Barmore really come out in attack mode. I know his play is sort of speaking for itself right now, but him really taking the onus to make sure the Bobcats get off to a better start than what they did in yesterday's game. See Xavier there with the fall-away jumper. Swish along the baseline. We'll take a short break here for this timeout and be back with more FBI Classic action here live from Dorman Arena. Back out of the timeout. Approaching the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Seneca has come out to a 7-point advantage. That three-pointer off the mark. Rebound snatched out of the air by Braden Galloway. He'll drop it off, but it looks like Seneca will reset. Earning a trip to the line there, it will be number 0, Iquan Wilson. So Wilson heads to the line. This Seneca team ranked atop the preseason polls here in South Carolina. And rightly so. Xavier Barmore, who we mentioned, the Liberty commit, but also Brevin Galloway. Committed to play his college ball at College of Charleston. His younger brother, Braden Galloway. Also very talented, all 3 of those guys. If this were the old NBA Live game, they would have the little 3-ball rating next to the player name. They can really stroke it from outside, not just pigeonhole to there. Can put the ball on the floor and make plays as well. A lot of talent for Coach Padgett's squad. Barmore stops on a dime but can't get that shot to go. Looks like they called it travel before the foul. That Galloway three, long off the back of the rim. That was Braden who took it. Long rebound came right to Brevin. Barmore with it up top. We're already seeing Seneca do a better job of making sure they have a certain number of passes per each possession. Not to jinx them there on that play as they turn it over, but they have players that one-on-one have a lot of wiggle in their game and can do great things for you when it comes to making a play. They're doing a great job of transitioning away from what we saw in their game one loss, to where maybe they didn't use each other as much as they could have in terms of ball movement and putting those pieces in a better position to score. But with the way they've started this game, they have made the adjustment, focus on putting that opening round loss behind them, putting their best foot forward to make sure they win the remaining 2 games they have here at the FBI Classic. Meanwhile, on the Phillip O'Berry side, a good squad that was really taking it to Green Forest Christian Academy, one of the better teams in this tournament out of the state of Georgia. They went from leading the majority of that first half against Green Forest to letting Green Forest take a modest lead in the halftime. And that was when Justin Forrest came out of the locker room and turned it on, scoring the bulk of his 38 points there in that second half versus Phillip O'Berry. Braden Galloway is fouled. He will go to the line to shoot 2. Galloway had 10 points and 3 boards in yesterday's game. Misses that first free throw. Checking in for Seneca, it will be number 33, Tristan Hudson, the FBI Classic 3-point shooting champion per the festivities there on Sunday evening as the event tipped off. 12-3 advantage for Seneca. The lone bucket for Phillip O'Berry being the Will Miller 3 from a few minutes ago. That one poked away. Barmore going to get it ahead to Galloway. Galloway with the easy lay-in. Galloway still appears to be in a little bit of pain. Came down hard on his leg and tweaked it in yesterday's game. Still moving a little gingerly, as you saw him get back on the defensive end. So Seneca to throw it in right there in front of head coach Kevin Padgett. Coast to coast, scored for Phillip O'Berry. Nobody stopped ball. So opting to take it all the way there was number 23, Michael Roberts. So Roberts at the line for a chance for the 3-point play the hard way. Nobody there to stop him. By the time he reaches that inside volleyball line there in the middle of the paint, that's all she wrote. Can't get the back end free throw to go. Hudson tries to save it. It'll stay with Phillip O'Berry. That'll be a traveling violation. Gonna go against Jamarius Burton. Burton had 14 points in the opening round game versus Green Forest. Really helped get them off to a good start there in that first half. He and Chandler Murray. Barmore set that shot up nicely there. It was right in that elbow area. Saw he had the space to work with as he continues to show off his ability in the mid-range. 11-point advantage for Seneca. So I believe Tristan Hudson has picked up 2 fouls. He's going to have a seat. Earl gets it back to Barmore. Foul on the floor. That'll be the 3rd team foul against Phillip O'Berry. The little hook. Good there for Earl. Chad Earl off to a good start. Seneca's gotten them more involved on the offensive end. Here to start this game, and they're up by 13. We're seeing more screens being set by Seneca. More passes per possession, and it's yielding results, but O'Berry just trying to weather the storm right now. It's taking them a few minutes to get going, even though they trail by double digits now. We're seeing more rhythm on their end as they've been able to get a couple trips to the free throw line. Have also had some three-point play opportunities. Front part's taken care of, still unable to knock down that free throw after the initial bucket, but they're within 11. Galloway for 3. And Brevin Galloway, he's a tough kid, but just the way he's running up and down the court, that's to really evaluate whether he should be playing this game. You know, just my 2 cents from the outside looking in. He knows his level of pain, and I'm sure the staff there at Seneca does as well. But he's not able to get a close to normal jog going up and down the court, just trying to play through it. Barmore inside to Earl. Earl, that pass is intercepted. Chandler Murray with the steal.
Fouls against the Bobcats. Number 4 is Nathaniel Barmore.
Two seconds to work with. Murray for three.
Chandler Murray.
That's the Chandler Murray that we saw
DFA's good
in the
for
first half
consecutive
of
games in the
yesterday's
Metro
game,
Lafayette area. Section's been
where he had 4 3-pointers
Rocks.
in the first quarter. So we go to the quarter break. Murray trying to get things going. Phillip O'Berry and the Cardinals have pulled to within 6. We'll see if they can close the gap after this quick break. Second quarter underway. Seneca off to a good start. Had even opened up a double-digit advantage, 10 to 11 points, but Phillip O'Berry able to finish that first quarter on a positive note. A Chandler Murray three-pointer has them within 6. That shot's blocked. Hudson ahead to Barmore. Barmore thought about shooting it from the spot he stood in. Took an extra second to size it up. Off the mark, and they're unable to save it. Trip to the line coming up for number 2, Marius Burton. Burton misses the first free throw. 7:23 remaining here in the second quarter. Burton good on the second. Who was it off of last? They're going to say Phillip O'Berry. Looked like Iquan Wilson might have had a finger on it as it went out of bounds, but they'll rule that it stays with Seneca. Chandler Murray called for the foul. Barmore between the legs, fall away jumper. Shot won't fall. O'Berry has kept Seneca at 18 for the past few minutes. Traveling violation against Burton. Number 25, Brevin Galloway checks back into the game.
Number 1 checking in for the Cardinals, Jalen Scott.
Barmore over to Wilson. Now here's Braden Galloway over to Brevin. He's been successful there in that mid-range, has Xavier Barmore.
Fouling number 10, Chandler Murray.
So we'll have a chance for 2 more free throws. That's another thing about these guards for Seneca. You look at Barmore as well as Brevin Galloway. They can struggle from the outside, but also good recognition. And they have advantages at that elbow area in the post.
Taking number 24.
They'll be the first ones to set up, call for it,
Xavier Barmore.
and go to work inside as well. So still trying to gel and put some things together, but Seneca team going to be a tough one to face come tournament time here in the state of South Carolina. Phillip O'Berry has responded to the early surge by Seneca. And Sansa Xavier Barmore free throw, it really kept them at bay over the past few minutes.
Number 31.
Working inside is Keontae Stevens. The senior makes it a 4-point game. This Phillip O'Berry team is not going to go away quietly. Like I said, really took it to Green Forest Christian Academy, who on paper is the biggest team in the event. When you look at the length and the size that they have inside and at the wing positions. O'Berry played a good game, just Green Forest played a better one. In the penalty situation when it comes to free throws for Phillip O'Berry, 17 foul against Seneca. First free throw was good for number 24, Chase Berry. That one kicks off the back of the rim. Pass ahead, wasn't deflected, just a turnover.
Timeout number 4, Seneca timeout.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one more Farm Bureau Insurance Classic after this break.
Time for Riding Shotgun with a Gunslinger. Tough questions for football tough guy Brett Favre.
Dear Brett, I have a truck, so people always ask me to help them move. What should I do? First, go to favrates.com for a great auto quote from Farm Bureau. Then tell people you'll help them move as long as you can move in with them. Problem solved.
Great answer. Get your quote with local agents, great rates, and fast claims at favrates.com from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Ready to resume play out of the timeout. It's a 3-point game. Seneca led by as many as 11 in the first quarter, but the Cardinals have settled down and also settled the Bobcats down when it comes to the scoring end. Now Phillip O'Berry has the steal. That's a wide open look in the corner. It's number 24, Chase Berry, does what you're supposed to do when you get those wide open looks. Cans the triple, and we are tied at 19 apiece.
Foul number 24, Chase Berry.
Three-pointer good for Brevin Galloway. His first make from three-point land here in this game puts Seneca up by 3. Galloway still playing through pain.
Foul number 2 for Chase Berry.
Galloway good at the free throw line, even slightly hobbled. You can see what he's able to do. Knock down the triple and creating opportunities at the free throw line where he can get nice,
Number
easy
11
money.
chasing for Buffalo Baptist, Michael Allen.
Brevin Galloway, College of Charleston, getting a good player. Lead back to 5 points for Seneca. Baltimore can't get the dunk to go. Phillip O'Berry will head to the line.
For number 11, Michael Allen.
At the free throw line for Phillip O'Berry's number 30, Tevin Heath. Heath headed back to the line.
Foul number 1, Trent Earl.
First free throw is good to pull the Cardinals to within 4. Second one's in and out. Barmore fouled as he drives. Getting to the free throw line here has been no problem for him at this point in the game.
Foul number 24, Chase Berry.
Nice defense by Barmore. Snatches that one out of the air, looking to push it. Takes it all the way. Starts it with good defense and finishes on the other end. Nice answer back for the Cardinals. That's number 24. Chase Berry with another bucket.
Foul number 12, Jalen Porter.
Chad Earl at the line for Seneca. Earl had 6 early points in this game. They've made a concerted effort to get him more involved. Overall, for the most part, the Seneca offense has looked better in terms of shot selection and moving the ball around. That's a deep three-pointer. Knocked down by number 12, Jaden Woodard. Woodard shot that one from close to NBA range. Definitely NBA range. Excuse me, Mr. Woodard. Let's take another look at it. That's without a question. Big time range there from Woodard. Just a sophomore. Getting shots like that as a sophomore. Can't wait to see him over the next couple years. Pulls Phillip O'Berry to within 3. Seneca went to the 3-2 zone there for that possession. Got the stop they needed and the bucket to complement it on the other end. 5-point game. As we approach halftime, 1:30 away. Traveling violation going to be called on Burton as he couldn't keep that foot down. That 3 clanks off the back of the rim. Phillip O'Berry running. Nice pass ahead. Reverse no good. But the second one as a follow-up is good for Burton. Now Phillip O'Berry has a steal. That one's knocked away. Woodard, no-look pass. Burton adjusts for the finish. Can't get it to go, but a nice sequence there for O'Berry as they get a couple buckets. Couple turnovers, and we'll have it along the baseline. Woodard guarded by Barmore. Step through by Burton. Chad Earl continuing to work, can't get the points. But Galloway will try a three-pointer. That one's off the front of the rim. Tristan Hudson gets him another look at it. Now Barmore is going to try the 3. Cardinals running. And the finish of the and one variety for number 23, Michael Roberts. So Phillip O'Berry has stormed back and taken the lead by 1. Trailed by as many as 11. Kept cutting it down further and further, and now they have a 1-point advantage with a chance to make it 2. That first free throw, it misses, but they will have one more shot. That ball goes off the hand of Tristan Hudson. Nine seconds to work with. You got to watch Woodard here. Just nailed a deep three-pointer. They set a screen for him. Gets it over to Berry. Berry cannot get the shot to go. So that's going to send us into halftime. Thanks for joining us here on SUVtv. Xavier Barmore, he's going to need to bring more of this in the second half if they're going to get a win versus Berry. Berry has stormed back and snatched the lead away. We'll be back.
seconds, inbound pass to Marbury. As he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
Time for Riding Shotgun with a Gunslinger. Tough questions for football tough guy Brett Favre.
Dear Brett, I have a truck, so people always ask me to help them move. What should I do? First, go to favrates.com for a great auto quote from Farm Bureau. Then tell people you'll help them move as long as you can move in with them. Problem solved.
Great answer. Get your quote with local agents, great rates, and fast claims at favrates.com. From Farm Bureau Insurance.
back here to the FBI Classic, moments away from the second half getting started. Let's take a look at some of the numbers there from the first half, though. You look at Phillip O'Berry shooting a higher percentage from the field, 58%, making 11 out of 19 shots taken. Seneca shooting a 10 percentage points less, 13 of 27. Three-point land, you got a nice collection of shooters for Seneca, but it's Phillip O'Berry that's actually shooting the ball better from three-point land. Phillip O'Berry has 10 turnovers, but they were able to overcome, those mishaps in order to take a one-point advantage here into the second half. So we go into the third quarter. The Cardinals leading by 1. The Bobcats got off to a better start. They led by 11 there in the first quarter, but it was Phillip O'Berry really on the rise from the end of that first quarter on. Brevin Galloway, still not 100%, but playing through it, trying to help this Seneca team win. Both teams shot it poorly from the free throw line in the first half. Both shot 36%. Seneca got to the line 11 times, only hit 4. As Galloway splits the pair. Tevin Heath. Makes it 34-32. Turnover there, Barmore's pass intended for Iquan Wilson. Nearly stolen by Barmore, but the Cardinals hold on to it. Pass poked away inside and able to keep it in was Seneca. Earl kicks it over to Galloway. Back to Earl. Earl too strong on the shot. Wilson trying to hold on to it. He cannot. Barmore steals it right back. Nice pass. Cannot get the finish, and it's just 2 black jerseys back. Do what you want with it. Layup or dunk. Heath opts for the latter. Four-point game. Back to the corner for Galloway 3. Won't go. So the foul is going to go against Phillip O'Berry. Galloway thought about splitting through the D. Instead, he gets it over to Earl. Back to Galloway, gets the step and the finish. You know, you always want to be able to play without pain when you can, but sometimes it can make you a little bit more fundamentally focused, or help your ability to do more with less. Galloway with good handles, a good stroke, can do a lot of things out there, but he's being more deliberate and precise with his moves here in this game, because you can tell with every step there's some pain associated with that mobility. Galloway to throw it in. Barmore fouled on the play.
Foul number 2 intended on Murray.
Earl trying to go to work. Nice defense. Good travel.
24, taking
It's
Cardinals.
Michael Roberts
Chase Berry.
on defense there. Chase Berry checking back in for Phillip O'Berry. Berry had 4 points in the first half. That dunk finish inside by Roberts. Easy foul to call there as Earl is hit up top and will go to the line. Barmore hesitates, then explodes. Can't get the shot to go. Ball last touched by Phillip O'Berry. Will stay with Seneca. Not an easy task for Seneca to try to take this lead away from Phillip O'Berry. Was getting good contributions all around. Shot no good off that jump step. Cardinals get the stop. Shot no good along the baseline. Pass ahead. And it's going to be a foul against Phillip O'Berry.
Foul number 24, Chase Berry.
So Barmore at the line. In a Liberty Flames commit. First free throw is good. Barmore with 12 points in the first half. Galloway's pass too tall, sails out of bounds, turnover Seneca. Trail by 2. That triple, good for Woodard. He shot one. They're playing against Seneca. He shot one from Seneca. in the first half. He got his first triple here in the second half just moments ago. Like what the sophomore is bringing to the table. The fact that he's out there as a sophomore should already let you know what he's working with in terms of talent.
30 minutes in features possession.
That three-point stroke making itself known. At the line now is Heath. So he does his job at the stripe and has a seat checking back into the game for Phillip O'Berry, number 22. It's Miles Washington. The defense. Cardinals pushing. Pass is dropped off and laid in. That's Roberts on the assist. And Burton on the bucket. We're going to have a timeout. We'll take one with them, but not before we look at Woodard. If it's not an NBA three, I don't even want it. Woodard with major range here at Dorman.
Seconds inbound pass to Marbury as he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
Two minutes, 35 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Phillip O'Berry has pushed it out to a 9-point advantage. They trailed by 11 in the first quarter. One bucket away from giving themselves an 11-point cushion. Barmore not trying to let that happen, but the Cardinals deny them once again. Barmore with the back tap, right to Galloway. Brevin to Braden. Buckets. As the Bobcats get a good response out of the timeout. They got their work cut out for them. A well-coached Phillip O'Berry team is in control right now. They've seen their toughest point as far as this game is concerned by being down early, and they haven't looked back since taking a 2-point lead in at halftime. Baseline drive denied. Pass ahead to Galloway. Lost it. Too strong on the layup, and the follow-up attempt too strong as well. Here comes Phillip O'Berry looking to make that hurt on the other end. They'll have to go to the free throw line to do so. Mario Burton. Burton misses the first free throw. Mentioned it earlier, both teams shot 36% from the free throw line in the first half. 8-point advantage. Phillip O'Berry wanted the push-off call against Barmore. No call made by the official. They get the drop. Nice cut and the pass. Everything but the finish. Tristan Hudson stopped momentarily, but he's still pushing. Nice back tap by Woodard. Woodard saves it, but they're going to say that Miles Washington did not establish himself across the half-court line. The nice back tap. Woodard hustling to save it, throws it behind the back. And that's a good call by the officials. Those 2 feet had not come down yet across the half-court line. But good hustle all around by Phillip O'Berry, and with the way they play defense, they have a chance to make sure no harm's done. That wasn't until Barmore got sent to the line for more free throws. That's the 17th foul against Phillip O'Berry, so it'll be free throws for the remainder of the game, about 9 minutes, 9 seconds. Final minute. See if Phillip O'Berry holds for the last shot or if they're just taking their time. Don't look like they plan on holding. They're going to go with the first good shot available. That floater won't fall. Foul will go against Jeff Graham. First free throw good for Barmore. It's a 2-point game. Xavier Barmore's made the most out of his trips to the free throw line. We'll see how Phillip O'Berry responds. Every Seneca run or quasi-run has been responded to by O'Berry here in this game. We'll see how this one pans out. Nice hesitation and the finish. Great move there by number 3 for Phillip O'Berry, Jeff Graham. So we go into the fourth quarter. Jeff Graham working the baseline, hanging in the air and getting that finish. Nice play. Fourth quarter is moments away.
Around here, we grew up in the kitchen. We learned how to cook when our parents taught us what their parents taught them. At Bojangles, our master biscuit makers use traditional Southern recipes too, from scratch, the old-fashioned way. It's harder, but it's better. Around here, kitchens have always brought folks together, and we're going to make sure they do so for a long time to come. Head to Bojangles and try our country fried steak on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Time for Riding Shotgun with a Gunslinger. Tough questions for football tough guy Brett Favre.
Dear Brett, I have a truck, so people always ask me to help them move. What should I do? First, go to favrates.com for a great auto quote from Farm Bureau. Then tell people you'll help them move as long as you can move in with them. Problem solved.
Great answer. Get your quote with local agents, great rates, and fast claims at favrates.com. From Farm Bureau Insurance.
And we are back to the action. Fourth quarter is rolling. 3 from the corner. No good. 4-point advantage for the Phillip O'Berry Cardinals. Out of North Carolina, that pass, a little bit too much mustard on it for Chad Earl. So the ball will go over to Phillip O'Berry, sharpshooter up top. Jaden Woodard gets it over to the wing to Burton. That hesitation is really giving Seneca problems there by Graham. They had a good look on goal coming. He lost the handle as he went up for the shot. So Seneca able to bother him enough to prompt that lost ball. So we approach the 7-minute mark, 4-point game. Phillip O'Berry hasn't trailed since they took a 2-point lead at the end of the second quarter. Nice step on the catch by Chad Earl. Earl started off the game with 6 early points for Seneca. You look at the collection of guards that they have when Earl is doing what he does to finish off some of the opportunities they create as well as make his own moves in the post. They're in a very good position. This foul is going to send Galloway to the line. Galloway, a hard player to stay in front of, even with a little hiccup in his step. Can't get that first free throw to go. Rebound in traffic there by Miles Washington. Here comes Phillip O'Berry. They had gotten behind the defense, had the shot changed initially. Sticking with it and getting it to go is Miles Washington. Washington, another sophomore, getting some quality minutes for head coach Maurice Jones. Barmore's trying to camp out, make a residence at the free throw line. Got the talented Galloway brothers, but Tristan Hudson as well for this Seneca team. Chad Earl, we've talked about his contributions. But this team is going to go as Barmore goes, and I'm just not saying that from a standpoint of scoring. Even though he can score, his decision-making is going to be huge. Knowing when to slow him down, knowing when to move it around a little bit to make sure it's not just a good-looking point at one point in the game, but really starting the games and managing the game to where everybody's able to eat and you put your team in a good position and not rely on just the 3-ball and their one-on-one skills. So we go back and forth. Nice move. Cannot get the bounce, but good work by Burton to earn a trip to the line. So Burton will shoot 2 free throws. Good on the first. And I talked about the sophomore, Jaden Woodard. We've seen him shoot the ball. Check out this pass via the instant replay. Put just enough through it to where Hudson couldn't get a hand on it, but put enough spin to where it would curl right there for Graham to be able to lay it in. Under 6 minutes to play, 6-point game. 3 from the corner, that's too strong. So Woodard with the air ball. That corner isn't far enough. Told you, he doesn't want it if it's not NBA range. We can joke about that on the air. I'm sure he'll take the triple, even if it's right on top of the line, if they'll give it to him. At this point, Phillip O'Berry just trying to make sure they get the win however they need to get it. Working the offensive glass there to push the advantage to 8 points. Seneca opened the game with a sense of urgency. They're going to have to get it going and revive it to finish. Barmore makes it a 6-point game. That one's blocked out of bounds. Michael Roberts. Another bucket for Barmore. He's got to watch tipping the ball. He's going to get a delay of game warning. Really, he got the warning there. Probably should have got the warning last possession when he did the exact same thing. That's another thing with Barmore. He's a good player. The criticism is constructive. But picked up a technical in the opening round game. He had a legitimate gripe, on a non-foul call, but has to have more composure. That's some of that decision-making that I talked about. His team is gonna follow his lead by example as well as with what he does verbally out there on the court. Got to be able to do that by example. Putting in a lot of effort to overcome a talented Phillip O'Berry team. We have a timeout. We'll take one with them. We'll be back at Dorman Arena here shortly. Back from the timeout, 4 minutes, 47 seconds left to decide this one. Barmore has the last 6 points. Might have gotten away with a double dribble there. Chad Earl says, man, that's spilled milk. While you're talking about that, I'm laying this one in to pull us to within 4 points. Foul gonna go against Barmore as Graham has found ways to produce there along that baseline. Saw the nice hesitation move, an acrobatic finish about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Here he's gonna go to the line. Put on the first free throw. Six-point game after that trip to the line for Jeff Graham. As he and Barmore continue to go at it. Rams getting to the line, so is Barmore. First free throw is good. Barmore makes it a 4-point game. Nice move by Burton. We have to go to the line to make sure they come away with points for it. But a nice move to get to the cup. Chance to make a 4-point lead. Another 6-point advantage. First one's good. Galloway has that one blocked. Graham with it. Fakes the pass. Now he'll get it to Burton. And Burton will go to the line. Familiar spot for him the past few minutes. First free throw's good. Both teams shaking off some free throw woes. Pronunciation of that one was pretty woeful in and of itself. Both teams shaking off a tough half in terms of free throws in the first at 36%. Really making some key ones down the stretch. No foul called, some contact on the play. Officials letting them play. The reverse is good for Tevin Heath. Said it about 10 game minutes ago how tough it would be for Seneca to close this gap against Phillip O'Berry. They're well coached, have players out there making plays. And even though they haven't really been able to extend the lead into the teens or anything of that nature, they've made sure they've kept Seneca at a distance. Even with Xavier Barmore trying to turn things up and get more consistent scoring from the free throw line and other plays and in other ways. Berry has not relinquished the lead since taking it in the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Continuing to work. It was the reverse on Heath's last score. This time is the rebound and the lay-in. Barmore tries the three off the back iron. by no means an indictment of the Seneca program as a whole. Good program, led by Coach Kevin Padgett. His 7th year at Seneca. But they are too good of a team to be 0-2 in this event, which they are headed for. We call the game at status quo. Call it like we see it in front of us, but I think Seneca will be able to use this FBI Classic as a learning experience and a nice litmus test for what they need to improve on as a team that will vie for the state championship here in South Carolina. As Barmore just providing a little bit of razzle-dazzle, kind of in a take that with you kind of mode, as it looks like they're going to lose this game. He's just trying to go down shooting. Right back at you comes Graham. He's been making a lot of plays here in this second half for himself and for others. Cradles that ball, then rocks it to the left. The finish. Jeff Graham. Seen teams with high expectations get hit in the mouth at various points throughout their season. And it's not having that there that determines the team's fate at the end of the season. It's how they respond to it. We will see how Seneca regroups after dropping these 2 games. Congrats to Phillip O'Berry. Hard-fought loss against Green Forest yesterday. They come back and take care of business today. We'll be back with more FBI Classic.